Welcome back to the common room. That was Jimmy Barnes, Working Class Man.
Whoa. Now he works in IT.
Oh, that's just depressing.
Yeah.
Shall
He's JavaScript now.
Shall I liven the mood up?
I think so.
It's yeah-nah time.
Yeah, no, mate, yeah, no.
Ash, first one's off for you. More companies will look to manufacture in Australia now that R.M. Williams has been back in Australian hands.
I definitely think there's no reason why companies shouldn't be building in Australia. We've got all the resources right here.
But that wasn't the question.
We've got all the...
That wasn't the question.
We've got all the...
You can keep justifying it.
Okay, yeah, they're going to, because someone's done it, and then it'll open the floodgates.
For people that don't know, Andrew Twiggy Forrest has bought R.M. Williams. So that's basically why this question has come along, and it's good to see them back in Australian hands because they're made here in Salisbury.
That's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty sure it's Salisbury.
Oh, somewhere, isn't it?
It is Salisbury. I'm telling you, I've done the research. Okay, next one's for me.
I've got a question for you. It's a yes-no question. Is having a hobby cool?
Yeah, everyone's got hobbies.
But is having a hobby cool?
A hobby doesn't need to be cool.
So it's a nah. Hobbies aren't cool.
But they can be. Some hobbies can be.
Some hobbies. Name one cool hobby. Yeah, exactly. Model trains. That's not cool. Collecting insects.
They're cool to the person, but
Once you're outside the group, it's not cool.
Yeah.
It's not cool to have a hobby. It's not cool to have a hobby
it's probably
stamp
man,
collection. It's not cool to collect Pokemon cards unless they sell for like $1 million online. Then it's sweet money.
It's just weird. Yeah, you probably got a point there.
Hobbies aren't cool. You've heard it here on Unicast.
We're really breaking it. We really break the big news.
Don't write in, man. Don't at me.
Yeah, that's what we're going to get emails for.
We're going to get all the...
We're going to get the model train enthusiast club
and the stamp collectors, and they're all going to write in saying, actually, it is cool. And we won't get it because we haven't got a P.O. box.
Have you been to the model train show in Adelaide?
Yes, I have.
Yes, I have.
Yes, I have.
I've gone twice.
Yeah. It's a big shed, and all the men are just standing around it looking proud.
Yeah. I was 19.
Yeah. Picking up girls didn't work.
Yeah. On Friday night, I
went down to the hobby trains. Everyone's over 80.
Oh, no. Oh, God. It's me next, isn't it? Okay. It's fine to let the Kiwis back into South Australia when Victorians can't come back in due to the lockdown.
Yes, and I would have said that before lockdown as well.
It's an interesting one, though, because
I love Kiwis. They're great.
Yeah, everyone loves Kiwis. I
prefer them to Melbourne people. Is that controversial to say? They sew up themselves with their avocado lattes. New Zealand, that's where it's at.
I mean, what I do feel, though, is sorry for the people, like, they basically, there's been a hard border for so long, so I feel sorry for the regional Victoria that haven't had cases for so long until Shepparton recently, and they still can't get home or see their family. And
yeah,
then
it's definitely
let the
worse.
Kiwis in.
It's definitely worse for those border communities that one side of it is they have to have a hard line like a kilometre out of their town.
Yeah.
Or even in their town in some places.
So it's a bit rough. What do you got for me?
All right. Does MasterChef Junior prove that cooking really isn't that hard? Yes or no?
Nah. Because those kids are way more talented than me.
But they're so small.
They're so small, but doesn't that
It
make
can't
you feel
be-
bad about yourself? Wow, I can't do that at all.
But these small children can do it. Cooking can't be that hard, is it? It's just making things hot.
Some kids are tempering chocolate and everything. I'm like, what was I doing when I was 8? Oh, what was I doing? Playing with my model train.
Yeah. Cool guy.
I've never felt so more untalented. So yeah, they can show their talents. It was like when you have spelling bee competitions. Like I cannot spell half of those words.
No, I was in a show where we had to do a spelling bee in the show, and I spelled the words wrong, which was bad for the plot because I had to win.
But you've got a script.
I got the script and I still spelled it wrong. There we go.
That's a lot of pressure.
It is so much pressure to spell a word right, and you have to get it right. Otherwise, the whole show falls to bits. Opening night, spells it wrong.
Was this the show that you were called Fat in?
Yes, I got a review, and they called me fat.
That's not a review.
That's not a review.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. Selling corporate boxes for the pageant was wrong.
Oh, this one I'm actually like a bit on the fence with because
What?
it wasn't just like a corporate box for like hoity-toits. It was like a bar and they had food supplied, and so it's not like just the seats. It's the experience and the food and drinks. And also it fits 16 people in it. So, like, you divide that up. That's probably...
Where was the money going, though?
That is the question I would like to know.
Yeah,
Because
if it's going to the Stadium Management Authority, then no. But I think it still eats into that crowd number of how many people can be let in.
yes.
And then the other thing is, the average Joe's not going to be able to afford a corporate box. They're not
No.
cheap.
But they're corporate boxes for a reason. They'll go to a corporation involved with it. Someone sponsoring the pageant, maybe. We hope. We don't know. That's the problem.
Yeah,
we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know because it could be a corporate box that are just because when you buy, I could be wrong. If someone's listening from the Stadium Management Authority, my understanding is when you have a corporate boxes for Adelaide Oval, and then you can pick the packages that you want. So I know there's corporate boxes where you go to every event. So you'll go to concerts, you'll go to monster trucks. If they go, well, whatever, every football game, every cricket game, whatsoever.
And those selling for $1,000. I don't think there'll ever be a pageant again. Because you can make so much money charging people to go into the Oval, no one will ever want to put on a free pageant again. Like, you can make so much moolah. $1,000 for a box.
Yeah, but
People want to go pay and see a free pageant.
yeah,
Make the money. You're advertising the pharmacy who sponsors it, plus you're getting money from the ticket sales. You're just making money here. It's great.
What do you got for me?
All right. In the Toy Story universe, are the wooden blocks conscious?
How do you even think of a yeah-nah like this?
All right, so in the Toy Story universe, I'll explain my working. In the Toy Story universe, all the toys are alive. I think we're aware of this. So you've got the dolls, obviously. And then you've got the telephone on the wheels. He can't talk because he hasn't got a mouth, except through the receiver.
Yeah. I like
But
that.
if-
That was a good
If
detail.
you're like a block, a child's block, say a brick of Lego, is that a conscious piece of Lego?
But
Does it only become conscious when it's built into some sort of mythical dragon? At what point is this block turned into a thing?
Is it like blood? If you know
Blood.
what I mean. It's like is it like blood? It's like part of something, but it's only do you get what I mean? So like when you make it's part of something. So you're looking, for example, that could be like a dinosaur's hand. So
Yeah.
it's not conscious, but
Until
it's a body
it's connected
part.
to the whole dinosaur.
Yeah.
Interesting theory you have for...
Probably not so much the blood, more like a bone, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a bit disturbing
like
that if we just see random bones when you put it in that
It's more like a coral reef, and there's different organisms that create the coral. I think that's a nicer analogy than your blood analogy that you seem so obsessed with. But if I was in the Toy Story universe, I just know I'd be a block, and I won't be able to do anything. And I'm just looking out going, yep, I'm a block. I've been thrown around again. Depressing.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be a Jenga block.
Oh, no.
That'd be torture.
Don't pick me, don't pick me, don't pick me. Everything's on top of me. Ah!
No, or I wouldn't want to be a skittle.
Oh, no.
What do you do? Get bashed by balls every day?
Yep.
Anyway, okay. Last one for me for you, and that is the Bathurst 1000 will still be the best Australian race, despite Holden no longer giving any backing. So no like factory backing. There'll be no factory team anymore.
Interesting. Well, of course, my wife would say the best race in Australia is the Tour Down Under.
Okay,
you're probably
let me change
talking
that.
about
Best
car
motor
racing.
race.
Best motor race?
Everyone knows the best cycling race is Tour Down Under
Damn right it is.
in Australia. Everyone in the Tour de France was just like, "Excuse me."
Actually, I think
Anyway, back to the motor race.
motor race, You do need the corporate sponsor. I'm afraid you do. They give all the excitement with the concerts and the branding and all the marketing and the advertising.
But that's not the point. The corporate, they're the sponsor of the teams. They're not the actual event.
I don't know. You need a bit of money behind it to get these things going, especially after COVID. People won't be able to...
Yeah, but you're still getting that from the sponsor event. The sponsor of the event. Like Super Cheap Auto this year was the sponsor. Do you get what I mean? What I'm saying is it going to be the same now that you won't have that Holden versus Ford rivalry?
No Holden versus Ford. There won't be any fights in the street over which is the better car.
Technically, we're still going to have Holden.
It definitely needs to be broadened out. We can't just have 2 races. We need as many in there as we can.
Look, we're still going to have Holden versus Ford next year, but the year after it looks like we're going to have Camaros, which are GM, which is Chevrolet. So you still get that Holden versus Ford because Chevrolet is part of General Motors, which is I'm not going to go into all
so
of that.
Complicated. Modern manufacturing is just so complicated. You can't just be loyal to one brand. It's
the manufacturing episode
by
on the
everyone. So
I shouldn't talk over you like that. Have you got any last one for me?
All right, this is a tricky one for your brain. Are superhero films sci-fi?
What?
Would you put superhero films in the genre of sci-fi?
I'd put superhero movies now as their own genre.
As their own genre.
Yeah.
Separate, like fantasy.
Yeah.
Or crime.
I don't know how to answer that of the year now because I genuinely think the amount of superhero movies that we've had recently with the rivalry between Marvel and DC, of course. I mean, we're getting there was points where we were getting at least, I'd say, 3 or 4 a year, if not more.
If you're going to put it in a category, would it be sci-fi? Or would you say it fits more in
sci-fi.
A crime?
No, I'd say
or
sci-fi.
Detective thriller?
I've never looked at Midsummer Murders and gone, I wonder if he could fly to the criminal. Yeah, it's sci-fi.
It's a sci-fi?
Yeah, it's a sci-fi.
Like
Why? What have you got?
I reckon it's a sci-fi. Obviously. He's from space, isn't he?
You're just like, let's make Brayden sound like an idiot by making it sound like it's a crime.
No, it's
you
obvious.
baited me.
Superman's from space. It's obviously a sci-fi. I'd say it's as sci-fi as
What's
Spock,
Batman then?
Or he's got gadgets. He's like Inspector Gadget, which was a sci-fi as well. Because he's got gadgets.
Because he's got gadgets.
Because he's got gadgets, sci-fi.
We're going to leave it at that. Another great
If you've got magic, it's fantasy. If you've got gadgets, it's sci-fi. That's how you tell them apart, kids. You'll get an HD in that project, I'm sure.
And we're going to leave it on that. That was Now, you are listening to The Common Room on Unicast.